activist from Aleppo who was forcefully displaced from Aleppo lately. Amazing what you're doing today, guys. I have a wish that one day we can have such movements by civil society in Syria without being targeted, without being bombed. Assad regime used every possible weapon and never hesitated in using hunger as a weapon against the Syrian people. And because we can't talk about a particular part of what's happening in Syria without putting it in its context, I want to go back a little bit to the beginnings. In 2011, we went in streets. It was a popular demonstrations calling for freedom, justice, and dignity. Regime forces were attacking the protesters with bullets. They arrested many of peaceful protesters, tortured them. Now we have more than 200,000 detainees missed in Assad prisons. I had been arrested once, and it was a hard experience. Assad regime worked on dropping the values that the Syrian revolution was calling for. They tried to fake their realities. They accused the revolutionaries as agents, terrorists, vandals, and that they are controlled or ordered by external force, and that they aim to destabilize the internal security without even bothering themselves to listen to the people. When regime was unable to suppress this revolution or to control the rebellious cities that went out of Assad's control to the control of the peaceful protesters, like in Hama in August in 2011. Hama is a city located in the middle of Syria after the demonstration of 1 million that Hama witnessed that time. Assad forces stormed the city with tanks and artillery. And that was a turning point in the Syrian revolution. That was when the revolutionaries had no choice but the armed struggle against these tyrants. The city started after that to be liberated one after another by the hands of its sons and protectors from the Free Syrian Army, which emerged from the peaceful protesters themselves. Regime was about to fall, but the Iranian interfering and the sectarian militias who were fighting with the Assad regime against the Syrian people saved the regime, and they gave him more time. As revolutionaries, we resisted all this evil, bearing, bombing, and dying for the sake of this noble case, and we remained insisting in our struggle against these tyrants, until Russia came to support Assad with all its power about 2 years ago, until now. And all of us heard the statement of Lavrov about 3 days ago when he said that Assad regime was about to fall down within 2 or 3 weeks if Russians didn't interfere. Russia and Assad and the Iranians used the policy of siege and used hunger as a weapon, especially in the rebellion regions around the capital Damascus, like Madaya, Azabadani, Dareya, and Wadi Barada. They displaced a lot of people from their lands, and they are still doing so. And it's another horrific crime, the crime of demographic change. They are doing that to keep a secure circle or a secure ring around Damascus in order to protect the regime. And because Aleppo in the north of Syria is considered as an important economic heaviness in Syria, it was a part of the siege plan. I was there in Aleppo and we lived through the siege, a very hard experience. The high population density and the lack of resources, the lack of agricultural lands caused a bigger problem, and the shelling and the bombing, and that never stopped on the city, with all kinds of weapons. And at the end, our suffering was ended by another suffering. We were between two options. We either faced the genocide or we leave our land. We had no choice. We really were forcefully displaced from our land. Now the people of Aleppo and all the Syrians who were forcefully displaced from their lands to the liberated areas in the north of Syria, Idlib and its surrounds, they are threatened with the same destiny or even worse, as long as Assad regime continued with this policy. At these days, Still, a lot of people are living what we have lived in Aleppo. Still, a lot of areas under a hard siege and exposed to continuous bombing. Our duty, not just as Syrians, but as humans in this humanitarian movement all over the world, is to help to prevent this tragedy from happening again. How can we help? To raise the awareness of what's happening in Syria, to raise our voices with the Syrian revolution, so those who still support Assad stop, to take away this fake pretext about terrorism that Assad is using to convince its supporters and to commit genocides against the Syrian people. And excuse me now if I took too long. It's really a pleasure for me to be here with you, and thank you so much for listening.